To the Bush tax cuts, John McCain has a very complicated story. See if you can follow along here. It starts with McCain being against them before he was for them. At this week's debate, John McCain said he opposed the Bush tax cuts in the past because they didn't come with spending cuts. But that's not what he said at the time. In 2001, McCain said President Bush's $1.35 trillion tax cut benefited the wealthy at the expense of the middle class. And at the time, he tried but failed to change the bill to reduce income tax cuts for the wealthy and give greater benefits to those earning less money. But not a word about spending cuts. Then in 2003, McCain opposed a $350 billion tax cut. In that instance, he said it was because there should be no tax cuts while the cost of the Iraq War and its aftermath are still unknown. Flash forward now to the 2008 presidential race. Not only is McCain giving a different reason for his previous opposition to tax relief, but he now wants to make the Bush tax cuts permanent, fighting what he calls the Democrats' plans for a crippling tax increase. This is all from the man who calls his campaign bus the Straight Talk Express. Of course, it's not hard to figure out why John McCain is suddenly for the Bush tax cuts now. His opposition to the Bush tax cuts is one of the many reasons that his own mother says in November the conservative wing of the Republican Party will probably have to hold their nose in order to vote for him. The right wing doesn't like him, and the tax cut position is just one of the issues that they have no time for John McCain on. But he has flip-flopped around pretty good on this stuff. Here's the question. Why would John McCain misrepresent his own record when it comes to the Bush tax cuts? Alex writes he misrepresents his record to win because he cannot accept the fact that he has no clue what he's doing when it comes to the economy or this so-called plan he has. He ought to admit he's as confused about the economy as a high school senior taking an economics class. Then he should turn Democrat because if he gets the nomination, in the words of Rush Limbaugh, he will destroy the Republican Party. Terry in Colorado, I think McCain's basically a decent guy, but after losing the nomination to Bush in 2000, the old straight talker has learned how to pander to the core of the Republican Party. You know, those are the ones who think we're in a war in Iraq instead of an occupation, the ones who don't have a problem borrowing and spending but go spastic when tax and spend is mentioned. They're the ones McCain needs to convince of his conservative credentials. Wesley writes, thanks for saying something that supports what many of us believe to be a consistent behavior of John McCain, and why the Republican base will not hold their nose and vote for him if he's the nominee. I won't vote for Hillary, as Ann Coulter said, but I'll stay home. George in New York writes, the Straight Talk Express left the barn when ambition exceeded morality. He took a page out of the Bush book. If his lips are moving, he's lying. Patrick writes, it's simple. The Republican voter in 2008 punishes honesty in all forms. Didn't McCain tell the people of Michigan their old jobs were gone forever, and Romney said they'd come back? McCain got punished for that. He's just learning. Felix writes, 2 words, conservative pandering. Another 2 words, stupid question. Some antagonistic people out there today. And Jeff in Connecticut writes, the obvious answer is that John McCain's bus broke down and he's taken up a new residence on the Sellout Express.